Is it possible to get good at the guitar or the banjo or any other instrument instantly just by using our brains? I get asked that question quite a lot, actually. It seems sort of obscure, but I actually get asked that quite a lot. And I think the answer is yes. And I'm excited to talk to you guys about it now because I really think that it is possible to get better without even playing the instrument that we are learning to a certain extent. So let's talk about it, and I think we'll find some pretty interesting stuff. First of all, becoming a better banjo player or guitar player or any instrument player begins in our mind. Okay, that's something we have to realize as we look at this. How do you get instantly better at something? You have to put your mind in the right spot. Now, your mind is extremely powerful. The human brain is absolutely incredible. There's been tons of studies done on it. And I remember seeing the one where the guys are jumping into the Arctic icy water, and what they do is they need to raise their core temperature. So through meditation, they literally give themselves a fever, just amazing. I wish I knew how to do that back in the day with school. I could have got out of some tests. But I think it's fascinating. You look at the mind, it's insane. So what we need to do is we need to start off by acknowledging that the brain is very, very powerful. We need to harness that. What we're talking about today is how can we put our mind in the right spot so we get better instantly. Now perhaps you're looking at this video because you're bogged down or something and you're like, is there something that I'm missing? I'm sort of stuck in a rut and I'm trying to move past that. Is there something that I can do myself to help push me over this plateau, and then I can start climbing the mountain again of progress when it comes to the instrument that I'm learning? Each and every person comes to that place in their life, and I think that they have a decision to make. Do they stay on that plateau, or do we keep moving? We don't stop. We have to keep challenging ourselves. Well, we can keep practicing and practicing and practicing, but if we don't feel like we're getting any better, we're sort of going to get discouraged. So is there something I can do up here inside my mind to help me get over that and make me better right away? Now, it's very, very important that as we approach this, we must realize one vitally important thing before we look at our main points here. And that is that we have a positive outlook on what we are learning. If I'm frustrated, if I'm doubtful, if I'm unmotivated, that naturally is going to translate into how I see playing an instrument. I'm not going to have quality practice sessions. I'm not going to pick up things quickly and retain those things because I'm looking at it in a negative light. When you think about it, positivity is really what keeps you coming back to the guitar. You want to learn that song. You want to learn that riff. The positivity is, man, I'm going to get to learn that, and it's going to be amazing. All my friends are going to think it's cool or impress people, or maybe it's just for myself. I have a positive outlook on something that I want to invest the time in. So we need to be positive. We have to start out with a positive mindset. We don't want to defeat ourselves before we even get on the battlefield. We must place our mind in a positive position so we can retain the information. Okay, the first thing that we need to learn, we need to get up here in our brain to become a better player instantly, and this is a tough one, is we need to learn to be patient. We have to be patient. Well, I'm not a patient person. Well, try to be with the instrument that you're learning. It's going to be very, very important. You have to give your mind time to process the information that you put in. We might take in information, but for it to turn into muscle memory, we must give our brains time. Patience is essential. It's key to so many things in life, especially when it comes to learning. Don't be your own biggest critic with this. Please give yourself time to take in that information. If you approach a practice session with patience, then you will become a better player instantly, because then you're not going to be holding yourself back going, I've got to do this, I've got to do this, I've got to learn this, I haven't learned this by now. No, be patient, give your brain time, give your body time to learn that muscle memory, and you will become a better player instantly. The next thing that we need to see is that we need to learn to fail. And that's hard. Sometimes we're patient with people but not with technology. We're patient with technology but not with people, and we expect things, and I want this thing to be right. Well, when it comes to our own practice sessions or whatever we're doing with an instrument, we need to be okay with failing. That's just the way it is. Why? Because we learn from those failures. People who are the most creative people that I see in the world, they fail so many times, but then they get something right and it's beautiful. Approach your instrument with the mindset of, I'm going to fail a great many times, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to learn from those failures, and that's going to help me get better. So we need to learn to fail. Don't be afraid to crash and burn. If you're trying something new, it's okay. Now you know what not to do the next time. So to become a better player instantly, what you need to do is you need to get the mindset of, I will learn to fail, and I will learn from those failures, and that will make me a better player. Hey, if you're enjoying this, would you please do me a favor, hit like and subscribe, and then share it with a friend or family member or someone who you think might be starting or wanting to start an instrument, but they're not sure, or they're I don't know, they're down on themselves, or their own biggest critic. And send it to them and let them watch this. I think this will help them and encourage them to become a better player instantly by getting a couple of things right up here. Let's get back to it. The last thing that we see is, if we learn to have patience, and if we learn to fail, learn from those failures, then we see that we need to learn to succeed. Now you think, well, learn to succeed, that doesn't make sense. Just hang with me. So if we learn to learn from our failures, we also need to learn from our successes. We need to log away the little victories there as we play our instrument. I'll have students come in who will come in, they'll be playing, whether the banjo or the guitar, mandolin, ukulele, bass, all that stuff. And what they'll do is I'll see little things they play we're working on this whole song or this technique. Man, that sounds great. Well, they didn't even notice it. They were so frustrated that they couldn't play the whole song perfectly that they didn't notice the small things they were doing right. Maybe it's just a hammer-on. If you're a banjo player, that sounds really, really good now. Notice that. Okay? That's a little victory. That's something you got better at. Each time you play the banjo, each time you play the guitar or whatever it is, think about, what am I doing better now than I was before? Even if it's something so small. Learn to succeed. Count those small successes, and they will begin to add up and add up and add up. Essentially what you're doing is you're encouraging yourself. You're helping yourself. You're giving yourself a pat on the back going, hey, you're doing pretty good. The whole song doesn't sound good, but you're doing pretty good. We need to learn to succeed. Count those successes. Write them down if you need to. Have that mentality, and you will be a better player at your instrument instantly. And there you have it. That is how to become a better player at your instrument instantly. It all starts up here. We have to be patient. We have to learn from our failures, and we have to learn from our successes. We have to count those. Now you think, well, that's pretty simple. Be patient. Learn where you don't do good. Learn where you do good. Yes, it is simple, but it's something that we skip so oftentimes. You go back to the basics. I'm telling you, if we skip out on the basics, we will never, ever get to the more advanced, incredible sounds that we want to get from our instruments. They're called basics for a reason. They're the beginning, the things we're supposed to learn to start off with. Okay? Be patient, learn from your failures, count your successes, and you will be a better player instantly. Thank you so much, my friends, for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. I'm having a wonderful day right now as I speak. Take care. We'll talk to you next time.